there were quite a few mistakes. Number one, I didn't know whether or not I actually made the live stream public. I couldn't see anybody on the chat, where it says how many people are on the live stream. So we're going to do this again. So today is my 66th birthday. Normally, and every year, as far back as I can remember, I did one of two things. I either took my parents out when they were alive to a fine Italian dining restaurant or a show at Radio City Music Hall, or if there was something going on at Madison Square Garden. Sometimes Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus were in town. Take them out for that. That was the time of the year that we would do that. Or take them down to Little Italy and go to Ferrara's for pastries. Those are some of the things that I used to do on my birthdays. Always, if I took to the city, it would be with the girl I was dating at the time and my parents, and we would always rent a limousine. There would be no driving involved, although none of us drank alcohol. There'd be no driving involved. The limousine would just take us to Central Park. We would go to the horse and buggy around the Central Park, have pictures of all of this. We'd go to Radio City Music Hall. Something special I would do on my birthday. And then, including diving or something to do with going to the beach or, some sort of water activity, at least snorkeling. And now this year, because of the wounds on my leg, I'm not able to do that, unfortunately. So I am going to do something a little special. I'm going to go look online, not online, I have to go into the city to the actual RUSI motorcycle sales office. Because when I called them up yesterday afternoon, let's just face it, I don't speak Visaya, and most people that speak of the Philippines language, they somewhat understand English, but they don't actually understand English. You can't blame them for that, but they don't. Like when I asked the woman, can you send someone outside to measure the bed? She wasn't. So there's no one here. I don't know if there was anybody there or not. So I'm just going to go into the city with a ruler and I'll measure the bed. I don't like the way the motorcycle was built. I don't care who designed it, how much they think perfection is. Should have been 3 inches to 4 inches wider on each side, number one. Number two, it should have a dump on it. For me, that's what I would need. Now, the motorcycle that brought the wood to raise my house, the Chariot, that was modified 3 inches wider. And when I went to the RUSI motorcycle dealer in Panglao yesterday, Arthur was the salesperson. Very nice young man. I mean, this guy was smiles and pleasant, but he didn't know what size the bed was, even though there was an older Chariot on display in the back. So it wasn't on display. It wasn't something he was selling. So it probably wasn't something he would know about. So we eventually found a 1-foot ruler in his desk, and I went back and measured it. And you can't fit a sheet of plywood in the bed itself, because the bed itself is only 3 foot 6 inches wide. Now, Sabang said you could put it on top of the rails, and you could do that. You could do that. However, at the front of the bed, there's a bulkhead. Now, the bulkhead stops the lumber from going any further than the bulkhead. A real Chariot would have those bulkheads cut out on left and right side of the driver, so you could put 16 or 20-foot purlin or wood or even rebar on either side of the driver. But the way it is now, it's so small, narrow, it won't fit the driver's legs in there with a 2x12 piece of lumber, there'd be no room for the driver to get in and on and off. His legs would be pinned up against the motor. So the one that brought the lumber to my house was modified, and it was 3.5 inches wider on each side. I would go 4.5 inches, but I'm going to go into the city and see if they'll make one for me extra wide. And if they will, and if they can put the dump piston on it, the dump part, I might consider buying one. I'm going to go to the city anyway. I need to do some stuff. Other stuff there. I might have breakfast out. But I actually have to go to the city. And I don't mind that. It's my birthday, so I'll make a day of it. But it's just so hard doing business here. I mean, when I called up first of all, to get to somebody that might be able to send somebody out into the yard yesterday at RUSI, took like 2 phone calls and transferred 2 or 3 times. And then there was nobody around to measure the bed. I don't know why, but there wasn't. Just come into the city, sir. Just come and take a look. They don't understand that to come and take a look is 6 or 7 hours of your day. They have no concept, nor do they care, about your time invested into going into just take a look, sir. It's as if they think you're going to turn around over here and take a look at something. No, I'm going to go out and take a bath. I'm going to get dressed, and I'm going to get on walk 1,000 feet to where the jeepney is, and then I'm going to take the jeepney for an hour, and then when I get to the city, then I'm going to take a tricycle for another 10 or 12 minutes, and then so it'll be 2 hours from the time I leave my house. I'm going to spend at least an hour and a half there. That's, say, 2 more hours. And 2 hours back, that's 6 hours just to go take a look. And if I have to interact with any of the salespeople there, that would be just further complication. Because I already asked them if they modify the beds to be wider, and they said, sir, just come and take a look. Sir, you buy, and you change. So basically, a salesperson that probably could never afford a motorcycle or a Chariot is saying to go outlay 105,000 pesos and then get a torch and start chopping it up and modify it and destroy the beautiful paint job that's on the Chariot. The paint jobs are nice. And then weld for 2 or 3 days and go out and buy many, many different arrangements of steel and angle iron, flat steel, minimal pieces 20 foot long of 2x2 angle, and 10 pounds of welding rod, and God knows how many days to do this, to modify. You buy and you modify. So here's another question. You would think they'd be able to answer this, right? If I buy the Chariot, does my Philippines driver's license cover driving the Chariot? Sir, you buy the Chariot. Listen to this. Now, I want you to listen to this. I really want you to listen to this. Sir, you buy the Chariot. And then you buy the Chariot, and then you bring the Chariot to the LDR, which is the equivalent of the motor vehicle office in America. What we call the motor vehicle office, they call the LDR. Now, here's what would happen. If I brought the Chariot to the LDR and it wasn't registered properly, or anything that was wrong with the registration, they would confiscate the vehicle, and they would put it out in a yard with several thousand several hundred other confiscated vehicles, from brand new to old buses. And then I would have to jump through all the hoops. Plus, if I needed a motorcycle license, if I drove it, I can't even drive it to the LDR. I'd have to have a motorcycle driver drive it to the LDR. And I'd have to rent a man for a day. But you buy, sir, and then you bring it to the LDR. No matter what the consequences could be, they're not interested. They have no concept of consequences whatsoever. So I'm going to go there. Oh, and then I saw a policeman on the way home, and I said to them, sir, what type of license do you need to drive a tricycle? And he said a motorcycle license. So he was pretty clear. I says, are you sure? He says, I believe so. But he was pretty sure that you needed a motorcycle. I don't have a motorcycle's license, so I can't even go get one of those things today, even if they would modify it for me. And then how much will it cost to modify? I'd have to bring it to a welding shop, get an estimate on it, and that would be after I buy it. There's a lot of stuff that the company could just make it right there at the factory. That's where they build them, apparently, and they don't modify them. That's their standard size. Haven't run across one online. Now, I could get a used one, and I looked online. There aren't any used ones. One was a food truck, but it's modified to be a food truck. I'm not interested in that. I want to dump on it, and I want to make it wider. So anyway, thanks for watching, and that's all I really have to say. I'm on my way to the city to go RUSI CHARIOT shopping. I know I'm not going to buy anything, but I'm going to go look. And then from there, I'll have an idea whether or not what they do have or what they can order would be something that I want. Because when I start building, I'm going to need some means of transportation. I mean, the investment of 105,000 pesos, $2,000 is minimal compared to what I would pay for each truck that I order materials from. To bring the materials from the lumberyard to the house is typically between 600, 700 pesos to 1,000 plus pesos. So it's $20 a shot, and I'll be doing quite a few trips each week to different suppliers, and picking up my own materials with the Chariot would be less expensive than having deliveries done every couple of days. And it would be at my beck and call, the Chariot. The Chariot would be my chariot. But the way it is now, when you order something in the Philippines, like a lumber order, and they say, yes, sir, we'll be there at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Well, you could go home. You'll be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll be there at 2. You could go home and wait till 2 o'clock. And 2 o'clock they don't come. And 3 o'clock they don't answer their phone. And 4 o'clock they didn't come. And the next morning you call them up and they answer the phone. Yes, sir, there was a problem. So, but I waited home all day. Yes, sir. Or the material that you ordered at the lumberyard that you saw is somehow no longer in stock because somebody else came in and bought it after you bought it because they bought a bigger order. Welcome to the Philippines, baby. Take care. I'm Bing Permy, and it's good. It's good to know that you stopped making comments on my channel. If you're not a real man, if you're not a member of my Real Man, Superman, or Alpha Male Pledge Society, it's good you don't make comments on my channel. Oh, and by the way, somebody tried to join my channel that's blocked. No. That doesn't work for me at all. Just to be clear now, I appreciate the fact that you would think about joining my channel, but if I blocked you, I have no wish, want, will, or desire to have you on my channel ever again. If you got blocked, it's always been my rule to not unblock somebody. If I block you, you're blocked. No amount of coercing or blah, 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 or kissing up to me or money is going to change my mind. If I went through the trouble of talking to you and conversating with you, as the great Bomber says, and then blocked you because I didn't like something you said, you don't come back on my channel. But thank you. And what I would suggest to the gentleman that did subscribe to my channel at the real man level, $2.99, I suggest you unsubscribe because I'm not going to unblock you. And for the trolls like Roger and that guy Roger, I'm not sure what troll name the slob uses, but and there's another guy, Trinidad or something like that, or Taliban 1, Taliban 2, which I'm pretty sure is Richie. You're never going to get on my channel. Don't come on my channel and say, only a sissy blocks people. No, hey, Richie, only a sissy is afraid to show his face on YouTube. And we know why you're afraid to show your face. Because you want to go around and badmouth and malign and slander everybody's character in one way or another. And if anybody ever found out who you were, what you look like, you're afraid of that happening. Probably nothing would ever happen to you, but you're afraid of it happening. So don't come on my channel in a troll account and then expect me to listen to the blah, blah, blah. Only a coward blocks people. No, only a coward doesn't show his face. Like Roger Loge has stuff to say about everybody, but he doesn't show his face or who he is. Richie Belong badmouths and maligns and slanders everybody, but is a cow. He's a real coward. There's a lot of reasons why he's a coward, but one is because he's afraid to show his face, because he goes around slandering and maligning people. That's what a coward is, Roger. You're a coward for not showing your face. Richie is a coward for not showing his face. I show my face. I don't care that people know where I live. It makes no difference to me. I'm not a paranoid type of guy. But Richie is a coward. The slob is a coward. He doesn't come on my channel. He runs his mouth. He runs his mouth. He runs his mouth. I'm going to Bahal. I'm going to go. You're not going to Bahal. Don't take my word for it. Come to Bahal. Show us what you got, dude. But probably is not going to be a good thing. We're going to make some videos, that's for sure. But you keep threatening me to come to Bahal. I can't stop you from coming to Bahal. Right in front of my house, that's a public street. I won't stop you. But bring Richie with you. Bring Richie with you. Because both of you, I don't believe not one for a second you're going to come here. But if you do, bring assistance. Bring assistance. You'll need it when you get here. Because we're going to all be doing videos, and I want to get different angles of the same, different viewpoints of the same scenario. Anyway, it is my birthday. I'm off to the city. It's 7 o'clock here. It's actually 7:11 a.m. in the morning. Have a nice day. God day to everybody. Happy birthday to me. As I go chariot shopping, and of course, this is Mr. Congeniality, bringing this information to you from the Philippines and saying Amping Permi, which means take care always. That's right, baby. Bye-bye for now.